Hey there YouTube, it's Bobby aka Paginator, and I have a shopping haul to share with you. I was able to visit 2 bookstores and some craft stores yesterday, so I'm going to share with you what I got. And we'll start with my first stop, which was the King's English Bookstore in Salt Lake City. It is my favorite bookstore in the entire world, and I had some store credit and then also just bought some other things because I can. First off, though, before I get into the books, I want to say thank you to one of my subscribers, Lazy Homebody. In a recent video, I mentioned that I wanted some good vibes, like to not spend a lot, and they commented, no, you need to buy or find all the good books that your heart desires, or something to that effect. And I've been thinking about that a lot. And recently I finished a massive rework of my thesis, the novel that I'm writing, and I earned some kind of reward. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna get however many books I feel like I really want to read. So thank you for those words of encouragement, and now on to the books. And our first book is Bruised by Tanya Bodaju. If you're familiar with the book Kings, Queens, and In-Betweens, this is the same author. This one involves roller derby, which I think just sounds fun. I haven't read a book involving roller derby since I read the graphic novel Roller Girl, and I really enjoyed that, so I thought this could be interesting. Our main character is Dea, and since her parents died in an accident that she survived, she, in order to like manage her emotions and stuff, she bruises herself. And she is brought to a roller derby bout, and she decides that she is hooked and she's going to join this sport. Even though it involves interacting with other people, which she is not a super fan of since losing her parents. And I'm going to read a little bit from the dust jacket here. It says, but the opportunities to bruise are countless, and Dea realizes that if she's going to keep her emotional pain at bay, she'll need all the opportunities that she can get. The deeper Dea immerses herself in the world of roller derby, though, the more she realizes it's not the physical pain fest she was hoping for. Her rough and tumble teammates and their fans push her limits in ways she never imagined, bringing Dea to big truths about love, loss, strength, and healing. So it might be an emotional one, but hopefully also with some fun moments in there and just some good roller derby action. I feel like I'm zoomed in like way close to my face, but as you can tell, I'm not filming in my normal location, and this is the situation we're in. Our next book is Into the Blood Red Woods. This is by Martha Brockenbrough, and can you tell there's like an outline of a bear's ear here and like a hairy face? We have a werebear in this book. There are lots of werebeasts in this kingdom, and this land is surrounded by a powerful forest. The king, Tyrion, is on his deathbed, and he divides his kingdom, leaving half for each of his children, so they'll rule it together. His son Albrecht is not satisfied with the half of a kingdom, and Ursula, the firstborn, is a werebear, and so Albrecht decides, well, my sister is a girl and a werebear, she's not fit to rule, and so he invades her land, slaughtering her people and most of the werebeasts, and claims it for himself. So Ursula is gathering survivors and making plans to get her kingdom back and save those that are still alive. I don't know. I first was drawn to this just by the cover because we've got like a crown on fire and slash marks, but then the idea of like werebeasts seems really appealing to me, so I hope this will be a good one. Next we have A Rush of Wings by Laura E. Weymouth, which is an author that I have read from and enjoyed quite a bit before. I am going to read to you the first paragraph of the synopsis on the dust jacket. It says, Rowena Winthrop has always known there's magic within her, but though she hears voices on the wind and possesses unusual talents, her mother, Mariad, believes that Rowena lacks discipline and refuses to teach her the craft that keeps their Scottish village safe. When Mariad dies in a sinister death, it seems Rowena's one chance to grow into her power has passed. Then on a fateful storm-tossed night, Rowena rescues a handsome stranger named Gawain from a ship, and her mother miraculously returns from the dead, or so it appears. When this resurrected mother returns, she's nothing like the mother that Rowena used to know, and she turns Rowena's brothers and Gawain into swans. And she also takes Rowena's voice away. So Rowena has to flee, and She is traveling to Inverness to find a way to break the curse. Okay, it's set in Scotland, which is very appealing to me. We've got brothers and things being turned into swans. We've got curses. We've got a girl who has her voice taken away, a resurrected mother. Like, this seems so crazy, but also super interesting. So I am interested to find out how this book goes. Up next, we have Gallant by V.E. Schwab. This is a signed first edition, which is exciting. And to be honest, you guys probably know more about this book than I do, because I have a weird thing with numbers. I wanted to buy 5 books at the King's English, and I was looking. This ended up being my 5th one, even though it's the 4th one that I'm showing to you, and I saw V.E. Schwab, and I just went, grab. So we're going to find out together. All her life, Olivia Pryor has wondered who she truly is and where she belongs. Her only clue is a slim, battered journal, her mother's journal, full of entries that seem to show that she was unraveling in drawings that look like blots of ink, until Olivia notices a hand, a door, a bloom, a skull. Then a letter beckons Olivia home to Gallant, the one place her mother's journal warns her never to go. Olivia goes anyway, of course she does. What she finds is her last living relative in her family's manor, a manor with a ballroom and a sitting room and a study and sprawling, vibrant garden, and the crumbling ruin of a garden wall with an iron door, a door she must never open. But no one at Gallant ever sent Olivia that letter, and no one will tell her what haunts her cousin's dreams, what happened to her mother, or what lies on the other side of the wall. So who was it that called her home? Like, the end papers on here are giving me Secret Garden vibes, as well as like the synopsis, but like Secret Garden with magic, because like darker magic, I should say, because in the Secret Garden, of course, there's magic, but darker magic. But yeah, this should be interesting, and I just like this cover too. It's so pretty. Alright, and my last book that I got at the King's English, although not the last book in this haul, is a very heavy book. This is Aint Burned All the Bright by Jason Reynolds. And there's artwork by Jason Griffin in here. And I just saw Jason Reynolds and went for it. I can't even begin to tell you how much my students love Jason Reynolds. He did a series of videos called Right, Right, Right. And we watch one every week for journal prompts every Wednesday. And the kids are so excited when it's Jason Reynolds Day. So anyway, I picked up his new book, and the kids are going to be super excited about this, even though it is heavy. Like, look, no words. Like, 5 words. Can you see that? It's just full of illustrations, and then, like, this I think is the most amount of words that I've seen on any page here. So it's going to be very poetic and very artistic, which is exciting. The dust jacket says, Jason Reynolds using 3 long sentences and Jason Griffin using 300 pages of a pocket-sized moleskin have mind-melded this fierce, vulnerable, brilliant, terrifying, what is wrong with humans, hopeful, help-filled, hopeful, tender, heartbreaking, heart-making manifesto on what it means not to be able to breathe, and how the people and things at your fingertips are actually the oxygen you most need. So there it is. It's super short. I haven't read it yet. I haven't had time to, but when I do, I will try to let you know what I think of it. I am really excited about it. Okay, so after the King's English, I decided to go to Barnes & Noble because I was like 3 minutes away from one, and I don't live anywhere near bookstores, so you have to seize the moment, right? So I ended up getting 7 more books at Barnes & Noble. We're going to start with 3 middle grade books that I picked up. This is Keeper of the Lost Cities. I believe this is a pretty long series. I think I saw at least 4 or 5 of these in the store there, all sitting together. Jade from JD Ray Reads, I think, is the one that I've been hearing kind of gush about this book for quite a while, and interested enough that, like, made me want to read it, so we're going to give it a try. It is by Shannon Messenger. This is another one that just kind of caught my eye, and I was very much like, okay, if a book catches my eye, I'm going to look at it, I'm going to read the synopsis, I'm going to decide if it's something I really want to read, and this one, for some reason, just kind of stuck out to me. It is Goldie Vance, The Hocus Pocus Hoax by Lilium Rivera, and it is about a super sleuth and it is about a super sleuth named Marigold Goldie Vance. Goldie lives the sweet life at the Cross Palms Resort Hotel. Her dad, Art, is the manager, Cheryl LeBeau, the concierge, and Rob, a fellow valet, are Goldie's best friends, and Walter Toohey, her mentor, is the hotel detective. Just to put a cherry on top, Goldie's crush, Diane Kimura, works at the nearby record store Wax Lips. So she is solving mysteries, and it just seemed fun, and, I mean, it's a middle grade book. It's not that long, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get through. I am looking forward to it. And the next book is another in a series. This is Shadowghast. This is the third book in the Irion Sea series, starting with Malamander and then Gargantus, and then on to Shadowghast. And this series is set at a place called the Irion Sea, and we have, similar to the last one, we have a character who is a detective of sorts at a hotel. He's a lost and founder, and he works at the Grand Nautilus Hotel, either finding things that have been lost or finding people that lost things have been, that they belong to, like finding the owners of the lost items. I swear I know how to talk. This one takes place in and around the time of Halloween, which is going to add even more spooky vibes to this series. And this author is really good at giving the atmospheric vibes. It's definitely like a kind of spooky, weird, creepy town by the sea. This does also have some illustrations, and I'm wondering if maybe they have a different illustrator for this one. It looks a little bit different style than the others. Might have to look that up and see if it's the same one or not. But I'm excited to read it. Okay, so we have 4 young adult books from Barnes & Noble, and the first one is Lawless Spaces by Corey Ann Haydu. When I first saw the cover, I was like, holy cow, that's a very, very pale girl. And then I read what it was and saw that it's a verse novel, which also is always attractive to me. This is about Mimi, who has had a very difficult relationship with her mother. It's been that way for a long time, and the mom is more and more withdrawn. We get an idea that she's probably suffering depression, that kind of thing. Mimi is turning 16, and based on some advice from her mother to start journaling, she decides that she's going to do this through the form of poetry and kind of talk about what she's going through being a 16-year-old, going through online bullying, growing into a woman, like all the things that all teenagers go through, But it says here, and all in the shadow of a sexual assault case that is everywhere on the news, a case that seems to specifically rattle her mother. Trying to understand her place in the world, Mimi dives into the unearthed journals of her grandmother and her great-grandmother and beyond. She immerses herself in each of their lives, learns of their painful stories and their beautiful spirits, and as Mimi grows closer to each of these women, she starts to forge her own path. But it isn't until her mother's story comes to light that Mimi learns about the unyielding bonds of women and the relentless spirit of sisterhood. So that does sound like it would be pretty interesting. I like the kind of generational aspect of it as well, and I think that'll be a cool story to read. Maybe possibly quite emotional. Up next we have Mortal Remains by Marianne Fraser. There was a hard copy and this floppy paperback, and I just was in the mood for a floppy paperback, so here we go. I'm going to show you the words on the back are written in the shape of a old-timey coffin. Like, yikes! Our main character is Lily, and she is a makeup artist for the dead. She works in a funeral home and puts makeup on the deceased before they are buried. She likes her job, and even though she's bullied, called the freak, called ghoul girl, etc., she really enjoys the job. Her family owns the funeral home, and that's like been her role as they've worked there. It says here, lately though, her friends are drifting away, and her father is pushing her into taking over the family business, so she feels lonelier than ever. She finds herself spending all her time talking to her clients. After all, the dead are the only ones who really listen, but things get complicated when she reconnects with Adam, a boy everyone thought was dead. From what I understand, and like the synopsis on the hard copy, which I read first, was a little bit different. Like Adam maybe lived in the house next door, but then the house was completely taken down, and she and her friend found him in the ruins of the building. And he's saying, I'm Adam. But they're like, but you're dead. So there's a mystery going on here, as well as I'm guessing going to be some atmospheric kind of vibes happening. And when I need a spooky read, maybe this will be the one that I pick up. Next up, we have No Filter and Other Lies by Crystal Maldonado. And that is the same author as Fat Chance Charlie Vega, which I'm supposed to be reading this month for my TBR. We'll see if that happens. But doesn't this cover just look kind of cute? So this is about a girl named Max Monroe. She's an influencer. And it says she has it all: beauty, friends, and tons of followers, a glittering life of pure aesthetic, except it's all fake. Surprise, surprise. Life isn't like it is on Instagram, you guys. She's actually Kat Sanchez. She's funny, she's sarcastic, she's good at photography. There's nothing glamorous about her existence. She's a very ordinary teenager. She's got a fractured family. She's having a crap school year, and it says, and she's dealing with the awkwardness of her best friend Hari's unrequited love. It's tough being fat, biracial, and young. But Kat thrives as Max, doling out advice, sharing beautiful photos, and networking with famous influencers, even making a real friend and a follower named Elena. The closer Elena and Max get, texting, calling, even flirting, the more Kat feels she has to maintain the facade. But when one of Max's posts goes ultra viral and gets back to the person Kat's been stealing photos from, well, let the apocalypse begin. Yikes. So, social media, possibly catfishing, because it says she's been stealing photos. Like, yikes. But also something I think that if it's appropriate for my middle schoolers, they would really enjoy, because they're very much about the social meds. And finally, the last book that I picked up is The Bone Spindle. This is by Leslie Vedder. And we have these two tough-looking girls on the cover. We also have this axe that's got some engravings on it. It kind of looks like, the middle one kind of looks like a Celtic knot, so I don't know if it's meant to be Celtic, but that's what it looks like to me. On the back, it says, the sleep of death broken with a single kiss. Now, wait till you hear what this is about. So we've got some different characters. We have Fi. She's a bookish treasure hunter with a knack for ruins and riddles, who definitely doesn't believe in true love. Shane is a tough as dirt warrior who likes cracking skulls, pretty girls, and doing things her own way. And then we have Briar Rose, who is a prince, not a princess, a prince, under a sleeping curse, who's been waiting 100 years for the kiss that will wake him. What? I mean, do we really even need to know more? No. I am so excited for this one. That's so crazy. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I did hit up a couple of craft stores. A friend of mine has a birthday coming up, and I'm making her an altered book journal, like, kind of thing. And rather than show you all the supplies and everything, I'm just going to show you the beginning of what I'm working on. So I took some pages, like very strategically took some pages out, and I followed the tutorial by the YouTube channel 49 Butterflies. Is it 49 Butterflies? If it's something else, I will put a title or something to correct myself. Anyway, this really lovely girl who's from Vienna, Austria, and she's been, I've been following her demos on how to do this. So we start with a book. As I said, I strategically took some pages out, and you can see some paper clips here. These are holding pages together that are going to be pockets eventually. And I'm going to be using just pieces of paper and different things to decorate. I'll be adding some pockets, and then in all the pockets I will be making journaling cards and things that this person can write on. And I'll just show you the pages that I did today. I just did a few. So this is kind of an opening page, and I found this old thing that says Harrington Spelling Book, which I thought was fun because the person I'm giving this to is a teacher, so she would appreciate that. And I just added some little things like some washi tape and a tag and this floral thing here. I also did kind of a 2-page spread here that was a little bit Alice in Wonderland themed. So there's a paper clip that's in the shape of a top hat there, and we've got some mushrooms. This little bottle says "Drink Me." And then we've got Alice down here holding the flamingo to play croquet. And there's a teacup here. And then on this page, we've got another little bottle in this corner that says Drink Me, and another Alice here. She's peeking through some mushrooms. And then up here at the top, there's a top hat. And then over here, we've got another little tag, and this has a key that's dangling off of there. Then I did one more spread today, and both of these pages are pockets. I should tell you, this one is a top loading pocket, so you can see the cut out there. And then here we have, this one is a side loading pocket, and this one is a triangle pocket. So I was going for shades of like pink and brown and gold on this one. This is like an old playing card from a deck of cards that were Coca-Cola, like vintage Coca-Cola ads. We've got just a bit of lace and some little paper things here. I did get some stuff at Hobby Lobby that's like old paper replicas and things, so I'm using some bits of those. And again, just some more paper. The base of this page is a map of Liverpool, and then I've got like a registry thing that's kind of pink. I've got some washi tape here. This little rounded piece is from my mom's kind of junk drawer, a little note paper drawer in her kitchen. She has some of these little rounded papers, and I stole one. She won't care. Yeah, and there we go. So I have other pages that are waiting to be made into things. Like this one, we've got side pockets that go about halfway across. And here we've got another one of these triangle pockets, and then we've got a double, like this is 3 pieces of paper that are going to turn into like a double pocket thing. So I'm really excited about continuing this. My back is sore, so I'm kind of done with decorating for now. Plus I get to go see my nieces today, so I'm excited about that, and I've got to get ready for that. So I think we're going to call it good for this video, but that was a fun little haul. And again, thank you, Lazy Homebody, for giving me the permission, I guess I should say, or like the positive vibes to let myself know it's okay to buy books for myself. So there we go. And to everyone out there, have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading. Adios.